Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go! 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 Let's go. Are you ready? Let's go. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go.
Yo, what's up? What's cracking with you? What's cracking with y'all, baby? It's Friday. It's Friday. You already know what time it is. Our live or Friday Night Live. Yo, what's good? Yo, what's good? Talk to me. What's happening? Yo, it's been a long week. We done made it through. Well, actually, it's been a little short week because we was off on the holiday. But at the end of the day, though, work is work. So we made it, and it's Friday. So let's talk about it. It's Friday, yo. So let's get comments going. Let me know who's in the building. Show some love. Let me know what's happening. We got a wonderful show for you guys today. I've been advertising it. You've seen the videos. You already know who we got. We got Ron Bellamy. He's coming. He's going to be with us in just a little bit. And it's going to be a good session. I hope you got your questions ready. I hope you got your comments ready. If you know anybody, if you got family and friends that has a young athlete and that's dealing with the area of recruiting and got questions and just really don't know, now is the time to share the link. Now is the time to share the information and let them know they need to jump on right now and let's get it. Let's get it. Let me know who's in the building, y'all. What's up? What's happening? Talk to me. Talk to me in the comments. Hey, listen, it is your responsibility to make sure that the comment section is lit. Make sure that the chat is lit. So talk to me. Be getting ready to bring on our special guest in just a few seconds. All right. Ralphie Ralph, what up, though? What's cracking with you, man? Yes, sir. Yeah, it's gonna be good, guys. It's gonna be good. This is probably last week. If you didn't get a chance to check out the video from last week, make sure that you check it out. We got to hear from two of my good friends from a parent perspective in regards to the recruiting process. And so Mike Williams and Darren Tatum, they have two great athletes that they are that they are parenting right now, and that's going through the recruiting process and probably in the top of their class right now. And so they gave us the firsthand experience. They gave us some information that we can definitely take and take back and apply. So that was an awesome session. So make sure that you check that out. But this is going to be excellent. We got Ron Bellamy, and doesn't it get any better than this? We've been interviewing players, coaches, and they've been giving us their perspective and their little tidbits and things like that. And so, and we're going to get some more information. And now is the time. Make sure that you are tapped in. I see we got 13 people in the building. Come on, y'all. I'm going to bring them on. But you got to talk to me, though. Let me know who's here. What's up? To say I'm here. Just say, give me in the chat. Give me in the chat section. What's up? All right, ladies and gentlemen. So here's what we're going to do. If you have questions, if you got comments, you already know what to do while we're actually doing the interview. Just leave the information. Just put your comment in the chat, and I will acknowledge you. If you want to come on and actually join in on the live session, just let me know. Put your email inside of the chat, and I will do my very best to try to bring you on. And we can have that dialogue as well, and get that live interaction with Coach Ron Bellamy. And like I said, it doesn't get any better than it. And there's nobody that's bringing you the information like I am in regards to recruiting from a player, parent, and coaching perspective. All right. So without any further ado, guys, listen, I've been, I heard a lot of great things about this guy. This guy has a wonderful reputation, great character. Everybody speaks highly about him. I've been following him from afar ever since my kids were in the high school, stepped on the scene in high school. And I could tell you that, I heard nothing but great things about this guy. Of course, he's a former NFL player, and he also played at the Big House, University of Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I'm getting ready to bring him on right now. I'm telling you, let's get live. Let's get ready. Get your questions and comments ready. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Ron Bellamy. What's happening, Coach?
What's up? What's up? How you guys doing?
We're doing good, man. Thanks for joining us today. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, sir. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it and just talk about it. Let's talk a little bit about your career, actually. I know the recruiting process was definitely a little bit different back then, but so you played at the Big House. How did that happen?
Yeah, interesting story. I'm originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. So I came from
New
the
Orleans.
deep south. Yep, I'm from New Orleans, from the 504. But
yes, sir.
Yes, sir. But I left, I left the South to come to Michigan. Michigan's a phenomenal school. Had what I was looking for, from an academic standpoint. And the football program was coming off of a national championship in the 97 season. I came in 99.
Okay. Yeah, so I saw that you and I we're actually the same age, born in the same year. So okay. I came out in 1999 too as well. So that's what's up, man. So how was that experience though, playing at the Big House, man?
Oh man, it was unbelievable. It was everything I thought it would be. I was one of the few kids that had never taken a visit to the Big House before, so I didn't know. I'd be lying to tell you I knew a lot about Michigan. I did not know a ton about Michigan. In high school, we follow the SEC big time when you live in the South, and that's what I did. And just so happened I caught a Michigan-Ohio State football game, and I was instantly attracted to that game. And I loved the helmets. I loved that rivalry, and I remember telling my pops, I said, man, one of these days I'm gonna play in this game. And when I had that opportunity, man, I jumped on it.
Wow. That's amazing, man. And I'm super excited, and I know for you to actually just come on and just share this moment with us, man, and just talk a little bit about recruiting. I actually started this channel because I was going through the process with my boys who play for Chippewa Valley, and I just didn't know what to expect, Coach. I was really I was afraid. I was nervous. Didn't really know what to expect. I didn't really know what direction to take. For parents that are like me, that are actually getting started, probably got kids that are going into their freshman year or probably still in middle school, and they just don't know which way to go. What do you recommend?
Yeah, it's a great question. Here's what I say. Here's what will be my thing to parents. There's 3 times in your football lives that, everyone's always like, be about the team. There's 3 times in your football life that you can be selfish and make it about you. I think 1 is what high school you're picking for your kid. I think 2, what college you're picking. And I think the 3rd one is if you're fortunate enough to go play professional football, if you sign as a free agent or whatever it is, picking your team, right? Signing that second contract, what agent you're going to have, all those things. So there's a few times in our football lives we can make it strictly about us. And let's start off with high school. The biggest thing is it's about fit. You got to find the right fit for your kid, because a lot of parents get caught up in the hype of, I'm going to this school because the name behind it, the logo that it represents, right? Or historically the presence of the school.
Right.
What I would say, it has to be a fit. It has to be an academic fit for your kids. A lot of times kids go to some programs where, academics aren't prioritized, and the kids don't do a good job academically, and they're not prepared to take the standardized tests, which are the ACT and the SAT. I think from a cultural standpoint, when looking for a high school, I think it's very important to find a high school that fits some of the, fits some of the cultural things that you have in your home, right? If you come from a home where, high characters is you're pushing high characters to your kids, doing things the right way, integrity, all those things. Make sure it's the right building. And I'm not here to knock nobody. I'm just giving my personal opinion on how do you get your kid ready, because to be quite honest with you, high school football coaches, we are extensions of families. Whether guys don't realize it or not, we are. We become, your kids sign up with our football program or our school and play on the football team. I do become part of your family. I'm going to push your kid the same values that you're trying to instill in your kid. We're just trying to instill the same values. So that's one of the things I think is very important too. And then from the football standpoint, I know it's cliche to say this, but trust in the process. And here's what the process is. Everyone says trust the process, but what is the process? The process is making sure the kids get off to a great academic start, making sure that the kids playing football and they're being developed properly. a lot of times you see, parents are trying to go, they're trying to conquer the world right away. And that's not necessarily how it should be. I think it should be a process that the kids, they grow and they develop year to year, socially, academically, physically. And, when all those things align, then all of a sudden you start seeing good things. You start seeing growth and development with the kids in the classroom. They might get off to a rough start freshman year, but they kind of figure out how the game is played. And then it's, socially, they with the right group of people. And then from the football standpoint, just them buying to the culture. Are you doing the same thing as everybody else, or are you working harder than everyone else? And I think that is where you start seeing development and you start seeing separation. Kids start separating themselves, and then that's when the real offers, right? Not the ones that not the ones that they're getting their freshman years, but the real offers that at some point they could commit to.
Absolutely. And you said something pretty key. You started hitting on the academics, Coach, because you have a lot of students that come into high school and they just don't get it right away. And they don't really understand the sense of urgency to do good coming out of the gate within a freshman and sophomore year. So if you have a student that didn't do too well within their freshman and sophomore year and their cumulative GPA is not where it should be, is there still hope for that particular player to end up at a major Division I college if they have the talented play at that level?
Oh, without question. One of the things, and we experience it at our school. I'm not going to sit here and say every kid is an honor student. That's not true. We have our fair share that are. However, if a kid does struggle freshman year, the one thing that we highly suggest is that I tell the parents, hey, instead of buying those brand new pair of J's or buying, a new PS4, whatever it is, take that money and put it on the side for summer school. Because what it does, it gives the kid an opportunity to recover, get a grade replacement for a class that they didn't do well in whatever semester, first semester, second semester, whatever it may be. And, usually when you see the kids, when the parents have to pay for it, the kids do well in it.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I get that. I get that. Before we go any further, let's check in real quick with the chat. We got some people that's making some comments. Of course, you got it's Sherry Tatum. She said, "Hey, Cephas, hello, Coach Bellamy." Sherry, that's my girl. And of course, Married to Film, which is huge, guys. Make sure you go follow their channel. They're awesome. Excited that my nephew, Nigel Dunton, will be playing for a great coach and Coach Bellamy. Wow. Excellent. So, they got
Nigel's a great kid.
Excellent. So, Coach, I've been wanting to know this, and I'm going to get a little nosy because I want to know what happens behind the scenes. Because I know that if you got the players at your high school, then I know that you have the college coaches coming into the high schools and things like that, and making visits in the high school. What does that look like behind the scenes when the actual college coach arrive at the high school? What type of conversations are they having, and what are they looking for when they come to the school?
Another great question. The first thing when a coach comes in the building, I'm gonna be honest with you. I always, let's just say December 15th is when the coaches can come on the road. I'm always warning our boys. First impression is the most important impression, right? Like, hey guys, the day of period's over with. Coaches are active. They're on the road. Dress to impress, right? I encourage the kids, don't wear slides, don't wear flip flops to school. Make sure you're presentable. If this coach was to pull you out of school and take you on his campus, will the head coach sign off on you? And that's the message to the kids. Your image is everything.
Wow.
So once we identify that with the kids, and then we let them know what schools are coming in. I want to make sure that our kids are properly equipped to be able to have mature conversations with adults. Because at the end of the day, you take the hat off the coach. They're an adult, and it's just you talking about, why I will be a good fit for your program. The kids are selling themselves. I let the kids know it's an evaluation every time. It's essentially it's an interview, and that's what you're doing every time you get in front of these coaches. But from the coach's standpoint, I tend to meet with the coaches first before the prospects do. And one of the things that coaches want to know is character-wise. Hey, coach, Are we getting what type of person is this kid? If we were to offer this kid and he were to commit, is it a bad apple? And, from there, you tell the kids, and we've been fortunate to have a lot of great kids, high character kids. And from that standpoint, coaches do that. And then they want to see grades. Coaches want to see,
right.
Hey, academically, can the kids compete at a university level? What have they been doing in high school? And then I think a lot of times, obviously the film, in the eyes of most is the most important part, but you got to have some of the other features that coincide with the academics and the and the grades. I'm sorry, the academics and the character. But that's pretty much what it is. And from that standpoint, our kids, they go in there, they're very mature, they're very responsible, they're answering the questions. We do kind of work with our kids in skill development in that area. And the rest kind of sells itself. You have high character, you have great grades, and you have great film. Then it becomes a no-brainer for that college.
So okay. So excellent information. I appreciate you sharing that information with us. So in essence, from a coaching perspective, when those college coaches come in and actually chat with the chat with you, whatnot, is it a situation where you're selling your kid basically, or like do for lack of better words or whatever, but are you guys like, do you have to become, I'm wondering behind the scenes, like, do you have to become in some situations, because they may not necessarily be coming to look at a particular kid that you have in mind, but that kid is Division I talent and he will be a great asset to their school. So at that point, do you become a salesman in that situation? 100%.
It's, that's our job as coaches is to go far and beyond for these kids and give them some opportunities that, they may not be able to have on their own. For myself, I can speak and say, calling coaches all the time, or if a coach emails me, text messages me, the one thing that I'm certain to be is I'm going to respond back to them. I think It's very important to have that dialogue, and you want to make sure we have what we call a prospect sheet. So basically, a prospect sheet has the kid's name, the year they graduate, all their measurables, how tall they are, how much they weigh. We put GPAs in there. We have their link to their huddle, and we have their Twitter account, and we put their cell phones on there. And, it's a process. And a lot of times we're telling our kids, make sure you clean on social media, because these coaches, I shared your Twitter. I shared your Twitter or your Instagram, whatever it may be. I share that with them because they want to know you outside of the football player. They want to see what you like away from your school setting. And, a lot of times, there's a couple kids. I'm on social media. I'm very active on social media simply because one is one way for me to connect with coaches, but I get to monitor our kids and, make sure that they're not making decisions or doing things that's going to cost them from getting scholarships.
Wow. Man, this is Doc, you spilling it for us, man. I really appreciate that. Hey, listen, everybody in the chat, listen, it doesn't get any better than that. If you have somebody, if you know someone that's that's dealing with recruiting or whatnot, a young athlete or a parent or whatnot, maybe a family member, let them know to jump on right now and come with the questions. If you got questions, please make sure that you put that information in the chat, and so we can talk about it and get answers for it tonight, because tonight is the night. As DJ Quick would say. Let's see. Is social media? Oh, here is a question. Is social media the biggest difference in recruiting now than when you were being recruited?
Yeah, we didn't really have social media. I mean, I guess the only thing we here had was AOL, AOL Instant Messenger. But now it's social media is huge. There's times, let me say, the way it works is once the coach and the college coach, the high school coach and college coach, you connect. You make the connection about a specific prospect. I'm going to use Married to Film. I'm going to use Nigel Dutton, for example. Nigel's your family. So take Nigel. Let's just say coach calls about, hey, coach, tell me about Nigel Dutton. And I tell him about this kid and say, hey, this kid is a Division I prospect, division whatever he is. And I said, hey, check this kid out. Then all of a sudden, coach likes the film. I give him a transcript. They like the transcript. Get a chance to shake the kid's hands like, hey, this kid's a very respectful kid. I can, definitely see character-wise that this kid, exudes character. then the next step is the coach is going to kind of do their own homework and develop their own personal relationship with the kid on social media. Like I said, whether it's Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. And from there, a lot of times behind the scenes, I don't know what's going on unless the kid shares it. And the coaches are just vetting the kids. They want to just see that's just another way. That's how kids communicate with each other now through social media. And, coaches want to identify, prospects and develop that relationship. And I'm going to use the word relationship a lot because that's essentially what it really is. And, from there, the coach, it's just like anything else. The coach likes the kid, and behind the scenes, that relationship is formed, and all of a sudden, the kid gets an offer, and then the coach is going to keep in constant contact with the kid and trying to get the kid's word for a commitment, and that's pretty much the process of recruiting.
Wow. So, man, that is some good information. Hopefully, you got your question answered, Married to Film. And like I said, guys, please make sure you go follow their channel. They're doing great things. And if you're a movie buff, or if you like watching series and things like that, they are the ones for you. Let's see what Sherry got. Sherry Tatum, question: when do you recommend for your junior year athletes to take the ACT? Are the college coaches accepting ACT scores anymore since the start of online teaching? Great question. Yeah. So, excuse me. Let me see. The ACT right now for the class of 2021, they may be exempt from it. But the biggest thing you're worried about for the class of 22, I personally think the class of 22 kids are going to have it harder than any other class. Wow. Obviously, the 2020s weren't affected. The class of 21s, you can still go by their junior year film and some of the junior year test scores and things of that nature. But the 22s, they were sophomores when COVID hit. And there's a chance that these college coaches don't get on the road for another year. Wow.
So because of COVID and some of the guidelines that the NCAA has prohibited the NCAA coaches from doing. But to be safe, I would definitely start taking the test. You don't want to wait till your senior year to take the test, especially if you're a class of 22 kid and you need the test score and you don't get the score you need the first couple times. Then your back's against the wall, especially if a kid's going to be a mid-year kid. Right. My recommendation is they take it at junior year and, keep taking it. Whatever score you get, let's just say in the math section, you may get a 20 on the ACT, then that 20 always stays with you. You just keep taking it and you try to get the grades that's appropriate to your GPA because it is a sliding scale. The higher your GPA, the lower your test score can be.
Right.
I think that's great information for parents to know, but I would start taking the tests as, junior year, despite what the grade may be.
So what about, how does while other questions are coming in, how does academic red shirt works? Because how does academic red shirt works?
Academic red shirt, it's essentially, let's just say a kid doesn't qualify right out of high school. If a kid doesn't qualify out of high school, then the old terminology used to be called Prop 48. Prop 48. Yeah, Prop 48. So they don't do Prop 48 anymore. So what happens is with the academic red shirt, the kids come in, they're on scholarship, but they're not allowed to play football.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, so essentially they're red shirting, but they're exempt from football activities.
Okay. Does colleges, is that still like a common thing or no?
You say colleges?
Yeah, is this still a common thing for colleges to do that or
no? It's not. It's not common anymore. Simply because the NCAA 2-3 years ago, what the NCAA did was a lot of colleges were what they were doing, where they were taking kids and making them gray shirts, blue shirts. There were all these shirts that none of us ever heard of before. It was just their way of kind of stopping kids from getting scholarships to other schools and trying to bring them on. They would say, hey, we're not going to pay for the fall of your freshman year, but we're going to pay for the winter of your freshman year. And if a kid had an offer to, let's say, University of Toledo, and then Alabama Crimson Tide comes in and Nick Saban, as a parent, you're going to be like, I want my kid to play at Alabama. I'll pay for that first semester of college. And what they were doing was just stockpiling kids. You look at some rosters, you say, how do this, they only have 25 scholarships, how they signing 30 kids to this class? And that's how they were doing it. So what the NCAA decided to do was say, let's say you brought Ron Bellamy in as an incoming freshman, and I didn't qualify. I signed in December, I signed in February, but I didn't qualify. I can't, that university loses that scholarship. So now coaches have kind of gotten away from the at-risk academic kids.
Yeah.
You have to be what they call special, right? To really take that risk on a kid that has some academic issues.
Wow. Everybody that's in the chat right now, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If this is your first time coming into the live or whatnot, we go live every Friday. Of course, that's going to be changing with Friday Night Lights being back, baby.
Yes,
so we're going to change that, and we're going to let you know when we'll be going live. And of course, if you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, or whatever, I'll be updating you and letting you know when we'll be going live again. Coach, let's back up a little bit. Why don't we tell the audience how long you've been coaching, and then also too, like, how many players you've helped get play at the next level at the major Division I colleges.
Yeah, this is my 12th. I'm going to my 12th year being the head coach at West Bloomfield, 13th overall at West Bloomfield.
Okay.
And it's been a blessing. To be honest with you, when I said after I played at Michigan, I got an opportunity to play 5 years in the NFL. And once I was done playing football, it was happenstance how I got situated with high school football. I volunteered. My last team was the Lions. One of my good friends was like, hey, can you come to my son's school and volunteer? I came to West Bloomfield, volunteered for a year, and I fell in love with it. I think it was my calling. Wow. I know it was my calling.
Yes,
and
sir.
That's how I got into it. And I, decided to go back to school, went to Wayne State and got my master's in education. And it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing. And as far as Division I football players, it's been a ton. It's been a ton over the course of the years that we've been at West Bloomfield. Myself and my staff. I know we did it this summer. We counted not so much Division I, but overall in 11 years I've been at West Bloomfield, we have put 85 kids in college.
Wow, that's amazing, man. That is amazing. Looks like we got another question that's coming in, Coach, and you better watch yourself because I can hear the preacher in your voice, man.
All
right, so hey, Coach, do you place a big emphasis on your players during the offseason, doing off-season showcase, combined camps, and 7-on-7 leagues and tournaments?
Great question, John. So I don't necessarily put an emphasis on it. I do think it has its place. I'm from Louisiana. We have spring football, which is a great evaluation tool for college coaches. We don't have that in the state of Michigan. So our kids, essentially when your season ends in November, or if you're on a not so good football team, it ends in October, there's chances that the kids won't get back to football till June when the school year ends, if they're not doing anything else. The old proverbial saying, out of sight, out of mind. Right. And that's what happens with the kids. So I'm okay with a kid. If a kid says, Coach, I'm going to join the 7-on-7 league, January, February, March, and then I'm getting ready for my spring sport, I'm all about it. Me personally, I think kids should be active all the time, not necessarily just in football, but I think kids should be active all the time. I think it's great for their mental, social, and physical health. In regards to like the combines and different things, I think COVID has allowed some of the athletic development centers, your Rising Stars, Sound Mind, Sound Body, the Legacy Center, so just to name a few in southeastern Michigan. I think it allowed them to kind of, show us that the combines can be beneficial. Right. Coaches are always enamored with numbers. And college coaches, that is college and pro coaches. And, your kid goes there, puts up some good numbers. You got them on videotape and they're verified. I think that's just another avenue to get the kid more further exposed, good exposure to college coaches. So I think there's a place for it as well. The one thing I will say, though, is I would not overdo it. There are some times where the kids are doing a little bit too much. And I think once your team starts and your team gets back together, I think the kids need to disassociate themselves from their athletic development centers and start working with their teams. I've seen kids get injured working with other people. I've seen kids lose a sense of who they are and what, the things that coaches have worked so hard to develop from a physicality standpoint. And they start kind of doing what they learn with these organizations.
Wow. That's good information. Great question, John. Keep the questions and comments coming, peeps. I told you it's your responsibility to come with the questions and comments to keep the chat lit. So and we got a coaching legend with us in the high school realm. So let's take advantage of that tonight. If you're new to the channel, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Sports Desk Cephas Harris. I'm bringing you the recruiting information from a coach, player, and parent perspective. So, Coach, let's talk about. Okay, so once I call Twitter like the coaching dating service because because we know a lot of the college coaches be in the guys' DMs on Twitter. So how does that? I mean, how are our players supposed to be conducting themselves, in those conversations and things like that when they're reaching out to them? They're, and some of those coaches are just like straightforward, like, hey, no greeting, like, hey, send me your transcripts, and send me your ACT scores, So how does that look?
You know what? I like to use the analogy of relationships. One of the guys trying to date a girl, right? And I tell the guys this all the time. If you're trying to get a girl's number, you're going to be persistent and you're going to do things the right way. You're going to come off. You're going to have some game. You got a plan. This is how you're going to conduct yourselves. Right. And the same thing with coaches. You're trying to get their attention. They have something that you want. Right. And they want you. And you got to make sure that there is a marriage. And how do you do that is by not acting like a fool, and making sure you're the best salesperson that you can be. Right. You're selling yourself because that's all you have. Right. You're selling your academics, you're selling your character, you're selling your film. That's who you are as far as concerned. That's what they want. We tell our players all the time to, make sure that everything's documented that you do. You have a conversation with a coach, and I like to be in the loop. Like I said, a lot of times coaches have conversations with kids that I'm not privy to, but I try to tell the kids, hey, let me know. I don't make decisions from what colleges kids go to. That's a decision that the kids and the parents make. However, my job as their football coach is to gather as much information as possible, put it on the table for the kids and the parents, and then they do their investigative work. The kid goes in there, takes his visits, and feel, like I say, what's the fit? What's the best fit for that particular individual? But social media is key. I know a lot of kids aren't super active on social media, but even the ones who not, you just try to tell them, hey, that's what the world has come to. That's what sports world is now. You got to be engaged. It's another way for the coaches to keep track of you. There is. I tell the kids, I try to tell them the coaching secrets. There are specific times that the college coaches, when they're in the office, the head man goes, okay, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. your job is to DM as many kids as possible at this particular time. Or, coaches don't really do the text thing too much, right? With the younger prospects, they don't text because they can't text them until September of their junior years. So now you see a lot of DMs and whatnot coming through. But as far as the text messages go and whatnot, you start to see them early on your junior year and your senior year in high school.
So if a college coach is reaching out to you, is it not necessary? I mean, are they, because you just said hey, but your job is to send as many, texts and things like that out to as many recruits as possible. So is it necessarily that they're interested in, or they're just trying to, hit their numbers with sending out, the text messaging or the, the tweets or whatever in the DMs?
Well, there's some universities I've seen. I want to say the University of Michigan. Last year they offered 225 kids. You only have 25 scholarships, but out of those 225 kids, you may only have a good shot at 40 of them. So they got to make sure they hit on it. A lot of time we tell our kids, you're not the only kid they're recruiting. I can bet my last dollar on that. You're not the only kid they're recruiting. And I think a lot of kids don't take the blinders off. And when I say what I mean by that is sometimes kids, and I see it with our own kids at West Bloomfield, they think that coaches just recruiting kids from the Metro Detroit area. Like, oh, no, man, they recruit kids from all over the country.
Right.
You're competing with, if you're a running back and you heavily recruited kid, well, chances are they probably sent out 15 to 20 offers to 15 to 20 other dudes across the country. And now what separates you from the kid in Texas, California, Ohio, Florida, Louisiana? What separates you? You guys both have a 3.0 GPA. You both high character kids. Your film looks pretty much the same. Same film, same type of athlete, same 40 time, same measurables, right? You're both 5'11", 6 foot, 200 pounds. Now, everything considered equal, what separates you and why would this coach take you over the other prospect? And that's how we educate our kids to kind of get advanced in the recruiting process.
Wow. So I'll give you a scenario. So college coach reach out to a kid, a D1 college, ask them for the transcripts, ACT scores or whatever. Kid's a junior, ninth, and cumulative GPAs, roughly a little over a 2 point. What do you recommend? Is it a situation where they just up front with them, like, hey, or transparent, or how should that kid respond?
I would say this is when the coach, the parent, and the kid has to get together. The coach, parent, kid, and the school counselor. And a plan has to be manufactured. And what I mean by that is a plan in the event of how can you, a college coach says, I really like this kid, but grades are an issue. You sit down and say, Coach, I know for myself, I'm saying, listen, Coach, freshman year, sophomore year, usually freshman, sophomore year, where the kids were, first time going to high school, just their heads all over the place. They didn't really prioritize academics. And it happens at our school. So what happens is you get with the counselor, get with the kid, get with the parent, and we said, okay, we're going to do summer school. We're going to do online classes for these particular classes from freshman and sophomore year. There were D's and C's and maybe a couple F's, right? You clean that stuff up right there. Once you clean that up, now what's the plan for senior year? Okay, Coach, like he's going to have all his credits. He's on pace to do that. Don't worry about that part. Now the counselor tells you, you do we do it every year. We do a spreadsheet for the kids after their junior, going halfway through their junior year, and said, this is what your academic standing is. And necessarily, we don't focus on cumulative GPA. It's all about your core GPA. Your math, science, English, social studies, your core classes, and your foreign language classes. And from there, we just tell the kids, in order for you to be eligible for NCAA to receive a scholarship, you got to get a B in math this second semester, or you got to get an A in economics, whatever it may be, whatever class it may be. So you're pretty much telling the kid, you're putting the ball in their court. If you want this scholarship that bad, what are you willing to do to get this scholarship?
Right. Wow, that's huge, and I'm glad you said that. Coach Merchant has done that, for us in the past, with my two boys, and he's doing it, now with my kid as well, because he's their counselor as well, he pull up the sheet and pull up all the grades and say, hey, this is where you need to be, or if you might want to pursue. So that's good. So that's good to hear. Got a couple questions. Let's see. Sherry Tatum, I know you're a great sports coach. If your athlete isn't getting a lot of playing time or isn't the fastest on the track, how do you keep them encouraged to stay in the game or on the track?
Great question. I personally believe you got to make it fun for the kids. A lot of times I see it, and we don't necessarily have this problem in our program, but a lot of coaches vicariously live through the kids. And, I even say this with COVID, where a lot of you guys want to play football because you missed the game, not so much that you're thinking about the kids. And if you make everything about the kids and you are always developing relationships if you develop a relationship with the kid, and each kid, if they find their spot, they find the things that they're good at. Like for instance, in track, I've had kids who weren't the fastest, but maybe you take them, you turn them into a hurdler, you turn them into a half mile, or you turn them into a long jumper. And the biggest thing that I learned about sports is really the kids are there for each other. They're there to interact with their peers,
Right.
you know, and the scholarship part is bonus. Once they realize that they are talented enough to play in college, then they kind of step up the preparation a bit. But I think the biggest thing is making sure they have fun. And culturally, you're building that brotherhood, sisterhood, or that family-like atmosphere to keep the kids engaged, because it ain't about the coaches. It's really about the kids they get to compete with and hang out with every day.
Are you a track coach too?
Yep, I coach sprints and track.
Oh man. So that brings up another question. But before I tap into that question, let's check in with Bill. Thanks, Sherry. That was an excellent question. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And those of you that are in the chat right now, listen, I can see you and I can see my subscriptions. And I know who's new and I know who's not. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Don't be a ghost follower, baby. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and check in. Obviously, you like it and you're here for a reason. Let's see, Bill. Recruiters started DMing 22 kids on September 1st. What channels should kids take to build relationships with these coaches? How much communication with the coaches is too much or not enough? Great question.
Great question. So Bill, I would say, with a kid, make sure they develop a relationship with the recruiting director or the personnel director, whatever title that specific school has for them. One of the things that I highly encourage our kids to do too is go on the internet and be real with yourself. You say to yourself, what level do you see yourself? Because every kid, if you ask a kid their freshman year what college they want to go to, everyone's going to say, I want to go to Michigan, Michigan State, Alabama, Ohio State, LSU, as they should. You got to reach for the stars. You got to dream big. Now, as you start to proceed with your high school career by your junior year, all right, things start becoming more real. You start looking at am I a Division II player? Am I NIA player? Am I a Division I? All right, if I'm D1, am I MAC caliber? Am I a Big Ten? So you start looking at those things. And what I have our kids do is I said, okay, what schools you like? Like, coach, where do you think I'm at right now? I think right now you're at a MAC level right now. You're at a MAC level, or I may say, hey, you're at a Division II level. Why don't you start going on the GLIAC page if I think you're a Division II, or if you think you're a D2 player? Go on the GLIAC page, start looking at these schools and seeing what type of players that they have been recruiting. What does their roster look like? And from that standpoint, that eliminates a lot. Now you could be real. Now it's like, okay, I like the GLIAC. I like Wayne State, Ferris State, Grand Valley, right? Saginaw Valley, whatever it may be. And you take it from there, and now you start finding the recruiting directors, and you start building a personal relationship. Or simply, hey, Coach Bellamy, kid comes up, hey, coach, can you connect me with such and such? No problem at all. I'll hit Grand Valley up because I know we have something that they want in our football program, and that's talented kids. So now, and this is where I think coaches, some coaches can be a little better as far as spending the extra time doing this for kids. You introduce that kid, you make that connection with the recruiting director, and now the recruiting director makes the connection with the position coach and that specific kid. And then that's when the relationship is built. How do you do that? Like I said, I gave you an example of that. Also, how can a kid do it on their part? Emailing. I like to tell our kids to create scripts. Coaches don't know. You could use the same script for 50 different colleges. They don't know, but make sure you change that name on those scripts. Hey, coach, how you doing? My name is Ron Bellamy. I play for West Bloomfield High School. I'm excited to learn more about your football program. I've been following you guys for the last couple of years. Love the product that you guys have put on the field and in the classroom. I see myself potentially having a strong interest in your program. Please reach out to me at your earliest. Thanks. I look forward to hearing back. That's a script. And I think when the kids start having those scripts and you start emailing coaches, you start putting in DMs, whatever it may be, that's how you establish credibility with coaches.
Wow. So, and that's good information as well. And I'm glad that you mentioned that about the scripts, because I got my guy in here, John Altamaro, who is who's an agent for a platform called Sports Thread. Now, and inside of this platform, coach, they have they have, all of the college coaches, all the recruiting information inside of this database, and they already have everything, all the emails and everything already scripted out. All you have to do is plug in your name. And so I'm going to have him on the show so he can, take us for a walkthrough on that, and we can take a look at that. But that would be a good tool for that, from that perspective.
Absolutely.
So we're getting down to the wire here, Coach, and I really appreciate you. I'm not going to keep you too much longer, but I do have, I think it's important that, as a head coach, to be a people's person, and to just be a person of communication and things like that. I noticed on your Twitter, I couldn't help but notice it, but you said that, hey, I know some players that just so happen to be good, but have good grades. Let's talk. Right. So I like that. You know what I'm saying? And what's your mind frame when you're making statements and doing things like that?
I know my following. I want to say I have over like 4,000 followers on Twitter. So I have a pretty good following and a lot of the college coaches. So, I don't just tweet just to tweet, just to say, hey, anything I tweet, I think it has some substance to it. And to be honest with you, with COVID, at the time, football was taken away from us. And I, as a coach, you're always trying to find creative ways to stay engaged with coaches and try to get your kids as much exposure as possible. So my whole thought behind that was I knew that, you may see me post a clip of a kid in practice doing something spectacular. I know if I post that and make a small comment on it, I'm probably going to have 15 to 20 coaches in my DMs on Twitter. And that's all my goal is to create a vibe, get guys like yourself, to, if you see it and get people to retweet it. And if I'm not friends with somebody and, that's just how things get out there, And I don't know how many likes or retweets it got, but I know he got quite a few. And I had coaches hit me up that night. I had about 10 coaches. And basically what I did was just take my prospect sheet and I would just email it to coaches like the University of Wyoming, schools that really they don't recruit Metro Detroit. I had Fresno State, those guys reaching out to me. And then what's unique about it is first thing I do when a school that really doesn't have a relationship with our school or the state of Michigan, I go look on the coaching roster, front office, whatever it may be, and I want to see any connections that I have with that specific school. And sure enough, I usually may. If I see that a guy played at Toledo or something, then I'm reaching out to my guys at Toledo and like, hey, give me the 411 on this guy, plug me, and plug me in. And then that's usually how it goes.
Wow, man. Relationship. That's basically
I said that word was going to be strong tonight.
Yep. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, you did. Relationship. Hey, we got Coach Ron Bellamy in here with us, guys. He's been with us for a little bit, and we're coming up. We're coming around home plate here. And Coach, what do you? If you got questions, sure you put it into the chat. Just like everybody else have been. It's been wonderful dialogue, wonderful questions and comments that have been shared thus far. Coach, what do you have to say for well, let me back up. What mistakes have you seen parents make?
I think having too many people in the circle, meaning getting advice from people that don't really have the kid's best interest in mind, more or less. Don't get me wrong, they love the kid, but they don't have the information to help make decisions. I think also is, parents got to realize they got to be able to separate people who have the kid's best interest in mind and people who are just trying to do something for notoriety for them. You see some people want to associate themselves with, I'll give you an example. We have a senior running back, Donovan Edwards, who's a fantastic kid and a fantastic football player. And his circle is very small, it's very tight. And there's people that's always trying to attach their name to him. And that's one of the things as a coach, I have to make sure that I separate him from. People offer him like free services. Hey, you can come train with me for free. You could come on this bus tour for free. All these different things. And You have to
Right.
explain to the kid and the father that, hey, free and always good. Sometimes people want to attach their name to your well-being.
Right.
I think that's a common mistake parents make too. Some parents feel as though they need to go to every camp created. A lot of these majority of these camps are money grabs.
Right.
Don't spend unnecessary money we don't have to, because the expectation is once I give you $1, I expect something in return. That's just how it rolls, And I tell the parents all the time, before you go to a camp, I don't know everything. I don't claim to know everything, but I've been around for quite some time, and I can tell you if it's a reputable camp that's going to help your kid in, with their development, or help your kid with exposure. And if it doesn't do either of those two things, then it's pointless for a kid to go to that particular camp.
Wow. So and I do agree with you, about the camps and, and money grabs and things like that. It's some of it's a little bit ridiculous. But that's good information about, people trying to attach themselves to your name. This will be the last question I have for you, Coach. And I'll let you go, whatever it is that you want to say to close us out. But what advice do you have for that young player aspiring to play at the next level, and and they're really hungry for it, and what can they do to put themselves in the best position possible to be able to possibly play at the next level, whether it be Division I, D2, or what have you?
I tell I would recommend this to kids. I say, one, keep your faith strong. Because you're going to have some adversity, you have bumps in the road. It's not going to be smooth sailing. It's not for any of them. I've been fortunate to coach some kids that played at some big time colleges and now playing in the NFL. And they all have faced some type of adversity in their careers. Wow. The next thing I would tell them is academically, it's okay to be smart. It's okay to be, to go in the classroom and to learn how to. And I tell the guys, when I say play the game means learn how to get what you want.
Right.
And go to the class, talk to the teacher, develop that relationship with the teacher. You may be a C student, but because you took the time to develop that relationship with the teacher, and let's say you're on the verge of 2 points away from having a B, chances are that teacher's going to give you every opportunity to get that B. Learn how to play the game. So take care of the academic part of it. And, I said, what are you doing different than everyone else? And I think if you can instill those values at an early age, then the kids, you start seeing the kids stay after practice a little longer. Or sometimes when I drive up to the field and, kind of get some stuff situated and, in our football shed, I look and I see, kids on the field by themselves,
putting in
get extra work in. Yeah. And those are the things that's going to take your game to another level.
Wow.
And last but not least, just be a great human being. That doesn't require any talent. That doesn't require any effort. It's just a mindset. It's just things that you buy into. And, people want to associate themselves with good human beings. And I tell kids all the time, to go back to your first question about, picking schools. And, I told our kids this example yesterday about winning. I said, when you watch the NFL draft, I go, which schools are getting the most players drafted? And the guy's like, Alabama, Ohio State, LSU, Clemson. And I say, why? They were like, because they're really good. I go, yeah, but all these kids aren't first round draft pick talent. But why are they going first round, second round? And they were like, because their schools are really good. And I was like, exactly. And with picking the high school, my last piece of advice would be, you don't have to go to the best high school, but go to the high school that college coaches just visit frequently. Because there's times where college coaches, I know a lot of coaches want kids from West Bloomfield because they know the things that I just mentioned, the advice I just gave you, those kids are going to become well prepared from our high school to the next level.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Ron Bellamy. Coach, we really appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to chill with us and come on and spit real good, positive, and good information that we can definitely take away and share with our kids and have them execute at a high level. And one of the things that you said, I like what you said, is that make sure that you're surrounding yourself around good human beings. And I can definitely tell just from this interaction that we have, you are definitely a good human being, sir. And I really appreciate what you're doing. And I can definitely tell that you're taking your calling super seriously. So thank you so much, Coach, for taking time out and being with us tonight. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. And I appreciate you. And let's stay safe. Let's continue to hopefully we return to some normalcy pretty soon. And, I'm excited that we have an opportunity for Friday Night Lights. And, these kids can play the game that they love.
Yes, sir. Who you guys got on? Who you guys got on the 18th?
Oak Park. We play at Oak Park.
Oh, that's gonna be a good one. Okay. All right. Cool. Yes, sir. I'll be checking you guys out like I'm always are.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you too. So, absolutely. Yes, sir. Hopefully we can have you back as well.
Absolutely.
All right. Take care. Have a great weekend.
All right. See you guys.
Yo, man, that was dope. Well, yeah, that was super dope. I knew that was going to be a good session. When I was talking with him on the phone and things like that, and kind of setting whole thing up, I could feel the energy that he just had a good positive energy, and just and that just exude that energy, and that's awesome. And the kids are getting that, and that type of guidance, that type of leadership. And you heard him. What he said is that, hey, that when you're signing kids up with the football team and things like that, we are family. And so he's actually taking it super serious. And there's nothing more better than a coach that's taking it serious and that's taking the job serious, and also treating those kids like they are his own. That's awesome. Let's check in with the chat. Great interview. Thank you, sir. I thought the same. Let's see. Latasia Hawkins, good stuff. Thank you so much. Hey, listen, everybody. As you guys know, with the channel, like I said, I originally started because I wanted to share as much information as possible. But as you know, too, that I am trying to get to 500 subscribers, right? 500 subscribers, all right? And we're doing good. The channel is growing, and the audience is growing, and that's the whole point. At the end of the day, I'm just trying to help someone and just get as much information out here as possible. I looked over YouTube and I didn't see that too many people were. I didn't see, too many people that were doing it like this, doing interviews with high school coaches and players and things like that. So, so that's why I took this spin. So make sure, I'm really working hard on my end, taking time to edit videos and taking time to do research and go after people to see if they will actually come on the show. And, so it's a lot of hard work behind the scenes. So it will be greatly appreciated if you can spread the word and help me grow this channel and help and let's be dedicated, because because I'm definitely dedicated to the process. And so it would be greatly appreciative if you guys would subscribe to the channel. And so what's going to happen is this. I got some more interviews lined up, of course. But we gotta make a change, ladies and gentlemen. We gotta make a change, because on Fridays, starting next week, football is back in full swing. Thank you, B. I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that. I was looking for a question. I just thought I knew you had one. You was, but football is gonna be back into full swing. So I'm gonna think about it a little bit, and I'll be sure to post information. I'll be sure to post a video as when we're gonna do when we're going to change the date for our live sessions, because I like to do that. And also, too, I'm going to get back into posting some videos. My next video I'm going to post is going to be dealing with basketball. And I was battling with this, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. But I'm going to post a video for basketball, for high school basketball, and what a player can do to put themselves in a position to get recruited. And also to play for a major AAU team. And I'm going to give utilize Isaiah Jackson, who was a national recruit and big time guy who's playing recruited by Kentucky, and he's playing for Kentucky right now. And we had a opportunity to coach him. And so I'm going to share that story just a little bit more in depth. And just tell you guys, what Isaiah actually did to put himself in that position. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that, but make sure that you are tapped in with me. And make sure that you are subscribed to the channel and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when we post new information. All right, I see we got 10 people in here, right? 10 people in here. Outside of those that are already commenting, let me know who you are. Just check in with me real quick before we disconnect. It's been a wonderful time tonight, and I really enjoyed myself tonight in this particular session. It was so positive, filled with information, and hopefully you share this with young players, and hopefully my own kids is watching this stuff so that they can take this information back and execute. Let's check in real quick with the chat. Come on, talk to me real quick and let me know who's here, and so I can acknowledge you real quick before we disconnect. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedules to be with us tonight, especially on a Friday night. You know what happened on Friday night. People we turned up, you know what I'm saying? So, but I really appreciate that. Oh, Miss Rollins, great interview. Thank you, Aunt Nene. You keep hiding from me. Get you on the show. I'm gonna get you on the show. We got to get you in here. We got to get you talking football, and you know, football is back in full swing. So I know you're happy about that. Let's see. There's my wife. Hey, honey. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate that. And we appreciate everything that you do as well. And I'm definitely reaching out to that contact because he is going to be next. That's going to be instrumental. Thank you so much. And guys, if you have topics that you want me to cover or anything like that, ideas or whatnot, let me know because I'm working for you guys. I'm working for you. There's my daughter. Yeah, there's my daughter. Hey, make sure you check out my daughter's channel. Everyone that's in the chat right now, make sure you check out my daughter's channel too. Subscribe to her channel. You will not be sorry. She's very, very entertaining and very, very creative. And, you know, she has her own little YouTube channel, as you can see. So all you got to do is make sure you go follow Kenzie Winsey, and you will not be sorry you did that. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He did answer him. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure chilling with you guys. It has been a pleasure having you on tonight with me. And it's always, I definitely appreciate you guys rocking with me, rocking with your boy. And for more recruiting information and how you want an idea on how things look internally and what that looks like, you know, make sure that you check in and tap in with me. And I'm going to take you on the journey, and we're going to keep digging, and we're going to keep digging. And I'm actually speaking into existence. I'm looking to bring on some professional, just like we just did there. You know, he was a former NFL player, right? And so we're getting it in. We're getting it in. And so in my last interview, I interviewed Rashad Phillips, who was a professional basketball player or whatnot. So listen, I'm working for you, and I'm dedicated. I'm committed to it. So make sure you stay tapped in with me. Enjoy your weekend, and be very hyped up and excited for high school football. Hopefully they come up with some parameters to allow spectators to come, because I know, you know, the fans want to be able to tap in and get a dose of that Friday night lights as well. So, but be safe and always, you know, try to do the right thing. Deuces. Love you guys.